All right, we got to talk. There's an emergency. Spotify's deleting songs, and you might be affected. So let's talk about why this is going on. What's up, guys? Brandon here from KDMR Music, the channel making you a more successful musician. We do this every single week with videos about music marketing, strategy tips, and giving you updates on the latest news in the music industry in videos just like this one. So if you're interested in that type of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, then tap that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Now, today's video is a little bit of a special briefing. This is not what I was going to be talking about today, but times have changed. Things have changed. Situations have occurred, and we got to address them. So, new year, new you. It's time for your music to reach more people than ever before. You've been working on your marketing budgets. You've been working on your new campaigns and just how you can release that music. There's a video on the YouTube card about that, by the way. And all of a sudden you wake up on January 1st, January 2nd, January 3rd, and find that your music isn't on Spotify anymore. And we got to talk about why that is. So, um, apparently there's really no official word. There's no news articles to back this up, just hearsay by a bunch of artists. But um, on January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, basically over the new year, a lot of artists found or woke up to found that their songs were deleted from Spotify. And they got an email from DistroKid, their distributor, saying, hey, it looks like your song has been taken down, likely the result of artificial streaming services. If this is an error, reach out to let us know. But that's what happened. And artists went crazy. Now, this number, the number of songs that were deleted, or the number of artists that were affected, it really ranges. I've seen as low as 15,000 and as high as 750,000. And Spotify's not releasing any official numbers, so there's really no way for us to know because their ecosystem is so small. Now, let's talk about why this is happening. Now, from all the information that I can find online, which again is really just a bunch of tweets and then an article from the founder of DistroKid. There were a few artists that woke up to having their music no longer on Spotify. They're reaching out to DistroKid support via Twitter, and DistroKid's like, hey, it wasn't us, it was Spotify. It was probably the result of artificial streams or playlisting, but it wasn't us. We didn't do it. And then somebody reached out to Spotify support, Spotify Cares. And Spotify Cares said, hey, this is probably the result of our efforts to combat against artificial streaming. So if you have any questions, contact your distributor and they can get that rectified. So with DistroKid being one of the most popular music aggregators or distributors out there, they got a lot of the blame because a lot of the artists that were affected, unfortunately, were on DistroKid. And the reason for that is because DistroKid doesn't have as many, I guess we would call them safeguards or rules in place to prevent certain artists from getting access to the platform. So that's what happens, right? When you appeal to the lowest common denominator, then you get the lowest common denominator. And so when bad things happen, they happen to your artist disproportionately. So, I guess let me start by saying, or give a disclaimer, I have no affiliation with DistroKid. We have partnered on content in the past, but as far as having a working day-to-day relationship, I don't really have access to the ins and outs of DistroKid. I do have contact with their marketing team every now and then to talk about things that they would like me to talk about. But other than that, I couldn't tell you what goes on inside the building. A lot of you guys, when I did my video about DistroKid, you had questions and you were sounding kind of angry and aiming them at me. And I have to tell you, I can't really answer those questions for you. That has nothing to do with me. But anyway, now that that's done, let's talk about why this is happening. So, assuming that we can take Spotify and DistroKid at their word. So when Spotify says they're combating fake streams, that means they're doing it for everyone. It's not just people who are on DistroKid. And when DistroKid says, hey, look, we didn't initiate this. This was all Spotify is doing. And look, they said it right here. So let's just assume that both parties are telling the truth and your music was deleted because of Spotify. Let's talk about why. Now, of course, we know that Spotify's business model is to get music, they play the music, and every time they play the music, they owe artists royalties, right? There's real money involved. Even if the money is not a lot from an artist's perspective, you think about someone who is paying out on millions and millions of streams a day. Every dollar counts, especially when you're a publicly traded company. And one problem that has been rising up or bubbling under for a long time now is fake streams, right? Artists want streams because it makes them look like they're more successful than they may be at any point in time. Playlisters, they want streams. There are a lot of playlisters out there that market their playlists on the number of streams that they get. So there's a lot of incentive to juice those numbers up. And there are a lot of playlist pitching services out there, or just straight up black hat, bad strategists out there that will say, hey, I can get you 5,000 streams on Spotify. You just got to pay me $50 or $100 or $300. You name the price, they name the amount of streams, you pay them, and you get the streams. And you're like, okay, cool, this is good. I got a lot of streams now. The problem is the method that they use to do that. When you pay one of these fake playlist or streaming services for plays, what they're doing is they're sending traffic to a click farm, a server farm, basically a bunch of bots, right? A bunch of web bots who press play on your music a bunch of times, and the numbers artificially rise. The numbers aren't rising because you're reaching more people. The numbers are rising because these bots have your name and your Spotify profile in their code, and they just keep working the bots, right? Now, this presents problems in a few ways. One, you're not getting real fans, so you're not really making any progress in your music career. And two, Spotify is having to pay for fake streams. They're paying for bot traffic. If I'm running a company and I have to pay every time I play someone's music and someone is taking advantage of me, I'm absolutely going to shut that down every single time. Now, me as a music marketer, I'm always preaching against using fake Spotify playlists and using fake streams to make yourself look like you're doing better. And the reason I do that is mostly because, again, you're not building an audience if your streams are fake. It's really doing nothing but boosting numbers. And honestly, because these social media algorithms and the Spotify algorithm is really smart, it's really just hurting you. It's hurting all the metrics that would actually get you real playlist placements and real traction on the Spotify platform. So those are the reasons I advocate against using these playlists and these streaming farms. But another seriously overlooked reason is that Spotify knows when the streams are fake and they are cracking down. So if you start using these services, chances are your music will get deleted. All of the progress you've made will be deleted and you've got to start over. In some cases, you may be banned from Spotify altogether. You don't want that to happen. I'm telling you, you do not want that to happen. So, what can you do? Well, if you were affected by the Spotify streaming apocalypse and you're a DistroKid artist, Phil at DistroKid has released a form that you can use to give them some information about what happened, who you are, and they're going to take that information and kind of appeal to Spotify and see if they'll reverse the decisions on a case-by-case basis. No word on how successful that effort has been, but at least DistroKid is trying. And if you haven't been affected, good. That means you're probably not doing the wrong things. I would advise you to continue not doing the wrong things. Listen, if anyone tells you that they can guarantee you a certain amount of Spotify plays or a certain amount of playlist placements for a certain amount of money, don't do it. They are scamming you, right? They may be able to, connect you to a server farm and get you a certain amount of plays, but they're not real plays. They're not quality listeners, and they're in violation of the Spotify terms of service, and they can get your account deleted. And that's not what you want. Now, instead, use Spotify's editorial playlist pitching tool inside the Spotify for Artists dashboard. That is going to get you complete access to the curators directly in Spotify. Now, you pitch your song, you may hear nothing back, or you may actually get placed. There are a lot of success stories using that submission tool. So use it. Another service that I advocate for is SubmitHub. With SubmitHub, you buy credits and you use those credits to pitch your music to different platforms, whether they're blogs, Spotify playlists, YouTube channels, or even TikTok influencers. So you pitch your music and they've got to give you feedback if they don't choose your music for that submission. So use SubmitHub because they're not guaranteeing you a certain amount of plays. Use the Spotify editorial tool because it's directly from Spotify themselves. It's not fake. It's not against their terms of service. But stay away from all of these random companies that keep popping up trying to promise you things that they can't deliver on. It's just not going to be good for you in the long run. So if you need help with any of that, I will leave links in the description to the article from the founder of DistroKid, as well as to SubmitHub and the Spotify for Artists dashboard. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below. Let me know, were you affected? And if you were affected, had you used any of these platforms, any kind of playlist pitching tools to grow your music career? And how was that going for you? I want to know. But until next time, be safe, be well, keep dreaming, and work hard to make those business dreams your reality. Peace.